Are you really aware of what you're eating? Because you know that thing where they say you are what you eat. Dread to say it. Well, I'm going to share with you in today's video about what I've been eating, because I'm bringing you on a journey with me. If you've seen a previous video, I was talking about when I was really frustrated and I got quite depressed about it when I was carrying some extra weight when I didn't want to. And I thought it was me being over 40 that was holding me back from actually dropping some weight, but it was me holding me back, but for reasons of the decisions that I was making. So I just want to see what happens with you when you hear and see what I'm going to show you today. I'm just going to share with you what I was actually eating up until this point where I decided that it was time to make a change, and really having a chat with my chiro because I was so frustrated with what was actually going on. So I'm just going to share with you what I'd been eating. Okay, so a couple of years ago, I was carrying some extra weight like I have been, and I was really frustrated. So I decided to eat a lot of veggies and not much protein or anything like that, and drop the weight. So what started to happen was I was eating a lot of sweet potato, and I was eating a lot of peas, a lot of beans, and a lot of broccoli. I was doing a lot of that, and a bit of, I'll show you here, and a bit of tofu, right? Because I wasn't really interested in eating meat. So I thought, oh, let's try something a bit different, and I ate a lot of nuts, okay? And that was sort of my protein fix, was nuts, and I didn't really eat much eggs or anything like that because I just wasn't in the mood. I was sort of thinking, well, will I go down the path of vegan, or I don't know, I was just sort of up in the air. So I thought I'll just try a few things. And then I was listening to a podcast and I heard, gee, if you had some protein within the 20 minutes of you getting up, that helps the burning fat and all that sort of stuff. And I have protein shakes for breakfast. So what I would do then is I'd have, half a protein shake or something like that before I'd go to the gym, come back, have a full protein shake, and then get on with my day and so on. And then I would be eating, I'd have big handfuls of nuts, I'd have big handfuls of nuts to keep me going, or I'd have, some grapes, big bunch of grapes, or, I'd have an apple or whatever, right? To get me through the day while I was, on my health kick as such, but just changing some things that I was eating. And yeah, I got some results, and I did actually trim down a bit, and I think I lost something around the 15 to 20 centimeters off my body in that period of time. It took longer to do that, but and I lost a few kilos and stuff, and it did take longer to do it that way, but that was happening. And I'd have some smoothies and stuff like that with cherries and blueberries, all of that sort of thing. So it all looks okay, doesn't it? Looks okay. But the problem is that I'm a guts. I'll admit it here, and you'll probably laugh at it. You may relate to it, I don't know. But I like food, and so I thought, okay, well, I like to eat big bowls of food, and because I've always have, because, right through my life, I've always been a sports person, but the last couple of years I haven't been, because I've been building businesses online and doing all that sort of stuff. So I haven't been as active as what I previously have been, say, in the last 4 years. I'm not as active as what I was in the previous 40-something years. So but I was still eating the same way. So I was like, okay, well, that's all right. I'll make a few changes, which I did, because I was getting into a few habits of, having a few extra chockies and stuff like that. Because they are nice, aren't they? Yeah. And a few years ago, and I was just getting into some habits because my husband loves sweets and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, and I'd have a bit here and a bit there. So it was just really all I did there was I just cut out sugar intake in the sense of lollies and chocolates and all that sort of stuff. And then I increased my intake in the sense of veggies, sweet potato and tofu and, and nuts, especially nuts. I ate a lot of nuts. But I made a difference, lost a bit, then I put it back on again. And I was like, well, I don't know what's going on here. Why is this happening? And I thought, I'm just doing all the right thing. I don't actually drink alcohol. A lot of people think I do, but but I don't. I did in my 20s, as we all do, but I don't like the taste of it. It doesn't excite me overly, so, and that's fine. Everyone's different, but I just didn't want to, I wasn't interested in that either anyway, so, and I'd probably have a few sports drinks, but it wasn't over the top either. I'd do a cleanse day every couple of weeks, all that sort of stuff. So I was still doing things okay, but when I really looked at it, you know, and I had this discussion, like I said, with my chiro about it, when I really looked at it, I was eating a lot of peas. Now, peas are actually pretty high in sugar content. Who would have known, right? It's a vegetable. You know, something simple like that, and you're probably not dirty. You know, same with fruit, right? So if you have too much, obviously, fruit, that's the same thing, right? But, you know, and snacks, some of the snacks I'd have some muesli that's got lovely dried fruit in it. Put it in a cup. Throw some beautiful creamed honey on the top, and I'd eat it. Sometimes I put peanut butter on it as well. So those were some snacky things that I'd do. But I was doing a lot of it. So what I was actually doing is, especially, you know, I'd eat a lot. I'd have big, like 2 big plates full of vegetables and all of that sort of stuff. So when I actually looked at it, I went, you know what? I'm actually eating too much food. And not only that I'm eating too much food, it was the fact that I also identified that I wasn't burning enough energy. And I'll share that with you in another video. But I just wanted to share this with you, is just analyze and actually have a look at what you have been eating, because at the end of the day, it's going to be the amount of calories you put in your body and the amount of calories you expend. And it's as simple as that. It sounds like, oh yeah, duh, and I've always thought, oh yeah, duh, but I actually never really looked at me. So what I would suggest for you is just go and actually have a look and see what you're actually eating. And then you can actually like discover what's actually going on, whether your food intake or your calorie intake is a lot bigger than what you're actually expending with your actual exercise regime, what you do throughout the day and so on. So I just want you to have a look at that, because that was a big thing that I did. As you can see, there's actually not too bad of stuff here. There's a few chockies. That's actually empty, by the way. There's nothing in there. I'll just prove it to you. But we just like the container. But the thing the biggest thing was actually having a look, because I've never had to worry about it in the past. And like I said, being over 40, it was like, you know, there was some big shifts going on, and I just didn't know why that was actually happening. And I don't want you to be going down that same path, or you might be going down that same path and you're really trying to work out what it actually is that you're doing. And so this is a suggestion on what to do, is actually just, you know what, just go and have a look at what you're actually eating and get an idea of actually what you're actually intaking. Because I mean, at the end of the day, what I was working out was I was probably getting a little bit slack at a few things. I'd have a few too many extra chockies on my, you know, on a Saturday night or something like that. But I was actually eating too big of meals, and my exercise regime was not quite the way it should have been, because I think I was probably getting a little bit slack on it as well. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. So if you got a lot of value out of today's video, that'd be great if you could leave a comment down below. I'd really love it if you could share with me what you like best about what you've heard today. And the other thing too is just stay tuned, because I'm going to share with you some little changes that I made in the next video actually on what is making the difference. And, you know, people have already started to notice there's some weight coming off, which is great. And they're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I'm going to share that with you in the next video. It's something really, really simple, just a couple of little tweaks, and I'll share that with you on the next video. So make sure you look out for that one. So, like I said, leave a comment down below. Love to hear from you, and love to hear what you. I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear from you, and if you can share with you what you like best again about what you saw today, that'd be great. And remember, aim for the stars. Okay, aim for the stars. Take massive action, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye for now.